Still in Sugama. A few classes have remained. It should have been over by the beginning, first day of Chaturmasya, but it's just going on. Let us try again. Yadapyashankate. Now the next argument is, the point was, Atmaikatva Vidya Pratipattaye Sarve Vedantaha Arabhyante. This was Bhashyakara's statement. So Siddhanti told that the Atma Ekatva Jnanam is the goal and Vedanta is the sadhana only for that. Vedanta aims to teach only that. Purvapakshi, one objected, Atma Ekatva is impossible. In these things he had put forward several arguments and Siddhanti is answering them one by one. So the next argument is Yadapi Ashankate. I think this is the last argument. Probably last. Oh, there are two more. Okay. 3 arguments. Shastrasyapi avidya purasaраತ್ವೇನ pratyakshadito vishesha abhavat. See, Shastra is also within avidya. This is what you Siddhanti told. What Siddhanti told is all pramanas are within Adhyasa. If that is the case, Shastra pramana also functions within Adhyasa. Then the question arises, just as pratyakshadito vishesha abhavat, it is no different from pratyaksha. Shastra pramana is no different from pratyaksha. Tasya avidya nirasana samartyabhava prasangaha. Then Shastra is incapable of removing ignorance, just as perception pratyaksha pramana is incapable of removing ignorance, just as pratyaksha pramana is incapable of removing ignorance, for the reason it is born of avidya. It functions within avidya. Same is the reason that applies to Shabda Pramana also. Shastra Pramana also. Shastra Pramana also is born of ignorance, functions within the ignorance. What functions within the ignorance? How can it remove the its own cause, ignorance? Okay. Bhrantitvena avagata purusha kruta sarpa nishedha vachanasya iva iti. He gives an example here. Just as a person who is under illusion of a snake, who misunderstood the rope for snake, a person who is under that illusion that it is a snake, his statement, what is his statement? Oh, this is a snake, here is a snake. He shouts, he shows that here is a snake. And can his statement be pramana? Can his statement constitute valid pramana to remove the snake and teach what is the reality? A person who is under Adhyasa, who is working under Adhyasa, whatever he says is equal to Adhyasa only. How can such a statement to correct the Adhyasa and point out the fact? This is an important argument of Ramanujacharya. Okay. As pramana, I repeat, a pramana which works within avidya, a pramana that works similarly here, Shastra pramana also arises in the Shabda pramana, arises in the Adhyasa, functions within the Adhyasa. How can that pramana which is under illusion, how can such a pramana remove our ignorance and point out Brahman? Impossible. See, this is argument. So to this, the reply is, Tadasat. No, it's not right. Your argument is not right. Because Vaishamyat, there is a difference. There is a lot of difference in it. Because Tatrahi Shravana Kale Bhrantitvavagatirastiti Narthakaratvam iti Yuktam. A person, in this example which you have given, a person who is under the illusion of snake, a bhranti, a misunderstanding of a snake, if he makes a statement, that goes wrong definitely. But there is a difference. There the person is really under ignorance. The snake, a person who is the snake, he knows that he is under illusion. He doesn't know the reality. Okay? A person who is seeing the snake doesn't know what is the reality, and he is acknowledged. He is consciously acknowledged, means he is understood to be under illusion. So bhrantitvena avagatirasti. So he has that misunderstanding while teaching, while listening, let us say. Okay? Bhrantitvena avagata purusha krita sarpa nisheda vachanasya iti narthakaratvam yuktam. Okay, but iha punah prak prabodhat nedam shastram na pramanamiti va nasti buddhiriti shravanadi pravruttau nasti pratibandha. Here it is totally different. A person who is listening to Vedanta, he has no idea of that Shastra is mithya or Shastra is due to Ajnana. A person who is listening to Vedanta, that is an ordinary person like you and I, we see this world is real and our speaking and thinking, everything is real. We have no idea of illusion. Before we understand this to be illusion, we see this as a real alone. Then Shabda Pramana is real, Shastra is real, because we are functioning with this real world and the real Shastra Pramana. So when we say Jagat is mithya, Shastra Pramana is mithya, when you are using it, it is mithya, we did not say. And it is not true also. After using Shastra Pramana, okay, after using Shastra Pramana, when you come to discover Atma as a Brahman, after the discovery, world becomes a mithya, not before. Okay, at the time of listening to Shastra, studying the Shastra, at the time of doing Vichara, the world is real, then Shastra Pramana is real, your samsara is real, and you are trying to understand the truth. Here, your question that how can the false Shruti Pramana can correct the very misunderstanding. There is no misunderstanding when you are using. Misunderstanding arises later. While using the Shruti Pramana, there is no question of misunderstanding. See, there is no question of Mithyatvam. Mithyatvam comes later. After using the Shastra, after understanding the truth, then Shastra becomes a Mithya, world becomes a Mithya, everything becomes a Mithya later. Therefore, Tatrahi Shravana Kale, at the time of doing Vichara, Narthakaratvam, okay, Iha Punaha Prak Prabodhat, Nedam Shastram. The Shastram is Mithya, such understanding is not there. In fact, you say Shastra is true. Na pramanam itiva nasti buddhihi iti shravanadi pravruttau nasti pratibandha. Therefore, see, this is a pen I am using, so it doesn't obstruct you from using the pen. You take a pen and write it and it writes. Okay. When it is writing, where is the problem? Tell me. Before you understand Brahman, the world is there, Shastra is there, your pen is there to write, and you are here, your eyes are functioning, everything is functioning. Everything is working. So, at the time of doing Vedanta Vichara, the world is real and your function, everything is normally there. So, you can't put a question at this stage, how can the false world, false Shastra can give rise to knowledge? That question doesn't arise because there is no falsity. It is real, Shastra is real. Okay? Then, Ato Nasti Shastrasya Avidya Nirasana Samarthya Vigatakam. Therefore, that the point which you told, Shastra is incapable of correcting your illusion, because Shastra itself is a part of illusion. Shastra is not a part of illusion when you are using Shastra. Okay. When you are using Shastra, it is not an illusion. Prabodha Urdhvam. When you use the Shastra, you listen to it and you come to understand the truth. After understanding the truth, then it is a mithya. Okay, let it be. Then once you understand the truth, if Shastra becomes a mithya, it doesn't matter, because then the entire world becomes mithya. Your jiva bhava becomes a mithya. Prabodhadurtvam tu mithya buddhitvam anarthakaratvam va na vidyate. Then when there is no Shastra, no pramana and nothing, then you say, oh, it is useless. Shastra is useless. Shastra is incapable. This question doesn't arise. This point again doesn't arise after understanding the truth, because when you already know the truth, then in the wake of knowledge of the truth, if the world becomes a mithya, Shastra becomes a mithya, doesn't matter, let it be mithya. When Shastra becomes a mithya, there its utility is not there. Then you don't need it. When Shastra is mithya, you don't need Shastra. When you are using Shastra, it is not mithya, it is real. Now put me, where is your doubt? Tell me, what is your doubt? When you are using Shastra, it is real, it is working really, and it is going to give you knowledge. It is going to correct your misunderstanding, and it is going to give you knowledge because it is real. At the time of using, it is really working. Once you wake up to the truth, then it becomes mithya. Then anyway, you don't need it. When you understand, when it becomes mithya, there you don't need it, because you have already Brahman. You don't need it. When you understand Jagat as a mithya, Shastra as a mithya, you don't need it. But when you need it, it is real. When you need it, it is already real. Now, there is no room for your question. Okay. Taduktam aikatmya pratipatte prag namithya hetva bhavataha purushartha avasayitvat napyurdvam manapekshataha. This is what exactly Sureshwaracharya says in his Vartika. At the time of using Shruti Pramana, just I am repeating, it is already we have discussed. So, at the time of using Shruti Pramana, it is not mithya. After understanding the truth, then anyway we don't need it. When we don't need it, then let it be mithya. Let it be mithya. Anyway, mithya means we don't need it. I myself have transcended my jivatvam and I have understood myself to be Brahman, then I am not in need of it. Because as a jiva, I am not suffering from samsara, because I have no jivatvam, I have no samsara. I don't need any Shastra Pramana to understand, because I am already Brahman. When you are already Brahman, you don't need Shastra, then let it be mithya, so what? See, this level is not clear, that's why the doubt has arisen. All these people who object that if Shastra is mithya, Ramanuja, Madhva and many others, all non-Advaitins, ask this question. If Shastra is mithya, how can that mithya Shastra will give rise to Brahmajnanam? We say, Shastra, when did you say Shastra mithya? After gaining Brahmajnanam, Shastra is mithya. It is something like, after you eat your food, after you appease your hunger, then the food is exhausted, there is no food. They say there is a food is not there. Doesn't matter, I already appeased my hunger. But before, food is already ready. Food is available, you can eat and appease your hunger. After you appease your hunger, then they say, oh, there is no food, food is exhausted. How does it affect you? When you need, food is there. It is something like when you need to go to Bangalore, car is ready. After you reach Bangalore, somebody will take away the car. Let them take away. Oh, after you reach Bangalore, car is not yours. So what? I need the car only to reach Bangalore. After reaching Bangalore, if somebody takes away my car and it is no more my car, so what? I need the car only to reach Bangalore. Once I reached it, no, not required. Similarly here, When you need it, when you need to understand Brahman, Shastra is really there. But once you understand the truth, that means Shastra is mithya. When we told Jagat is mithya, Shastra is mithya only to the one who understood himself to be Brahman. To the Brahman, Jagat is mithya. Let it be mithya, because Brahman doesn't need Jagat. Brahman doesn't need to use the Jagat. He doesn't need to acquire, achieve, gain, or experience anything from the world, because he is already Brahman. So Brahman doesn't need the Shastra to use. For what? To understand himself to be Brahman. But he is already Brahman. He understood already Brahman. So Shastra, he doesn't need it. That means one who needs Shastra is really there. One who is Brahman, he doesn't need Shastra. Then at that time it is mithya. Let it be. So what? Doesn't make any difference. So therefore, when you need, it is there for you. When you don't need, somebody will take away. Let it go away. It is something like you have got all wealth, your Aadhaar card is valid as long as you are alive. Okay. As long as you are alive, somebody told, hey, your Aadhaar card will become invalid after your death. Then you go and complain to the government. What sort of government is this? That you are making my Aadhaar card invalid. How can I use it? You have created such an Aadhaar card which I will not be able to use it. Then they asked, what is your complaint? How can you not use it? See, you told Aadhaar card will become invalid. If it is invalid, how can I use it? Aadhaar card is invalid, you told. How can I use my Aadhaar card if it is invalid? The person didn't understand the question. What is your question? I am not able to understand. You told Aadhaar card is invalid. He told, no, Aadhaar card is invalid. See, you can use it. You can use it. He told, you have written in your laws that Aadhaar card is invalid. Show me. Where did we write? Your government has written, you have published it, that Aadhaar card is invalid. Now show me. He asked to show me. I did not say that. I said, you are telling lies. I'll show you. See, Aadhaar card is invalid here written. This is the number. He told so and so number. Aadhaar card is invalid. When he read out, Aadhaar card becomes invalid only after his death. Then let it be invalid. Then he says, how can I use? When you say Aadhaar card is invalid, how can I use it? Do you have a doubt like this? Do you have a doubt like this? When you are alive, Aadhaar card is valid. When you are dead, why do you need Aadhaar card? And he says, if Aadhaar card is invalid, how can I use? Who can use? Who needs to use it? Tell me. When you are dead, you don't need. Then Aadhaar card automatically lapses. Let it lapse. You don't need it anyway. When you need it, as long as you are alive, Aadhaar card is valid and useful. When you are dead, Aadhaar card becomes invalid. Are you afraid of it? Do you have a big question? Oh my God, how can I use my Aadhaar card? Such an invalid. You have declared invalid. It is a wrong law. It is an injustice. Do you say like that? Similarly, Shastra Pramana is avidyakam. Shastra Pramana is mithya. When? To the Brahman. To Brahman, Shastra Pramana is mithya. But Brahman doesn't need anyway. Brahman doesn't need it. When you need it, it is there. When you need it, Jagat is there, you are here, and world is there, and everything is there. Shastra Pramana is working. Now you have no room to complain. Do you want to still complain? Do you want to still complain? See, nanu yadyapi prabodhadurdvan jignasoha krutha tattvat punarapyupayapeksha raste tatapi shastrasya satyatvam tavad hiyate eva shastrasyapi ashastratvena jnanat tadrisha jnananudayeva dvaita buddhes tadavastatvaditi chet. He says, again round and round and round and round and again puts the same question. I'll read. Yadyapi, okay. Before you, Purapakshi, I'm repeating what Purapakshi says. I'm just reading out and translating into English. Prabodhadurdvam, before you understand, before you get enlightened, before you wake up to the truth that you are Brahman, you are stand as a jiva. You are a jignasu. You are a seeker of the truth. You have got a mind, sense organ, shastra and guru and teaching, and you are listening. You are doing Shastra Vichara. Such a person, Jignaso, Krutartatvat, Prabodadurdvam, Punarapyupayapeksha Nasti. It is all right. He says, after you get enlightened, after you understand Brahman, you don't need Shastra, so it's okay. That time it is okay. But Tathapi Shastrasya Satyatvam Tavadhiyate Eva. After you understood yourself to be Brahman, then Shastra becomes invalid. Listen to see. Shastrasya Pramanyam, Shastras Satyatvam. The reality of the Shastra goes away. Shastra loses its reality. Once you understand the Brahman, Shastra loses its reality, then Shastra becomes false. Okay. Then Shastrasyapi Ashastratvena Jnanat. Then you understand Shastra is not a Shastra because it is invalid, because it is false. When you understand Shastra to be false, okay, where did I put my papers? When you understand Shastra to be false, Ashastratvena Jnanat, then Shastra becomes non-existent. Okay. See, after Jnanam, Shastra becomes non-existent. See. And it becomes false. So question arises, how can such a false Shastra, give rise to Dvaita Buddhe? So, Tadrusha Jnana Anudayeva Dvaita Buddhes Tadavastatvat. Then when the Shastra is false, such a false Shastra is incapable of producing Jnanam. Do you understand his question? How he is putting the horse before the cart. He has not understood our answer. He is again repeating the question. He says, okay, now you know Shastra is correct and real. It is valid. But he says, after gaining Jnanam, Shastra becomes false. Therefore, now my question is, how can the Shastra which is false will give rise to Advaita Jnanam? When Advaita Jnanam cannot rise, then Dvaita becomes real. What an intelligent argument he has given. Who? Ramanujacharya. Very great argument he has given. Now the reply, na ishtatva, your objection is invalid. Swamiji says, Advaitin says his objection is invalid. Why invalid? Because Ishyatehi shastrasyapi ashastratvam prabodhe. When you wake up, let Shastra cease to be Shastra. Let Shastra cease to be valid. Once you wake up, let it become invalid. After my death, let my Aadhaar card become invalid. So he says, if Aadhaar card is invalid, how can I use it now? His argument is like this. You told Aadhaar card will become invalid after my death. Okay, now I understand. If Aadhaar card is invalid, how can I use the invalid Aadhaar card now when I am alive? What an argument. Purapakshi's argument is Siddhanti says, so what? Let it be invalid when you don't need it. Atra pita pita bhavati ityupakramya veda aveda bhavanti. Has he given the argument or? Veda iti vachanadishyate eva asmavishruteraprabhavaha. Shruti herself is telling that Shastra becomes no Shastra Veda is no Veda, Jagat is no Jagat, Jiva is no Jagat. Nobody is what they are once you understand Brahman. The very Shruti is telling, I am no more valid. Shruti himself is telling that you listen to me, and once you listen and understand the truth, I am no more I am, what I am. That means I cease to be Shastra. Veda Aveda Bhavanti. Shastra herself is telling. Atra pita apita bhavati ityupakramya veda aveda iti vachanat ishyate eva asmavishrutere abhava prabode iti prabuddha purusham praticha shastrasya apramani bhavo nadoshaya. It is not at all a defect when Shastra becomes invalid and useless to the person already enlightened who doesn't need it, who is not in need of it. When the Shastra becomes invalid to the person who doesn't need it, it is not at all a defect. When your Aadhaar card becomes invalid after your death, Aadhaar card doesn't become invalid. Hey, what is this? Aadhaar card becomes invalid after death, you say, and again you claim that it is not invalid. His argument is strange argument. Okay. It is strange argument. Prameyadigame sati punarapi pramananveshan, because once he understands, he doesn't need it. So Gita Bhashya, for this Swamiji has not given or forgot it. Swamiji himself told elsewhere. Now I give you, just as when you are in dream, there is a tiger. A tiger is running after you, and you run and tiger is behind chasing you, and you are running, tiger is changing, you are running, tiger is running, you are running, tiger is running. Oh, you pant, you are unable to sweating, you become exhausted, you are unable to run. Then tiger instantly jumps over you. When tiger is chasing you, is it real or not? Or do you say, oh, you are a dream, it is a dream and you are a dream tiger, what can you do? I won't run. Will you say that? Will you say that, I won't run, it is a dream tiger? No, it is a waking tiger only. When you were in dream, the tiger was a waking tiger and you were really chased by tiger. The tiger is about to touch you. Any second it will touch you. You are afraid that your horripilation occurs. Your hair is standing erect because you feel that you are touched, as if touched by the tiger. If the tiger touches, it has got a sharp claws, I tell you. In one touch, your blood will come out and skin will come. Your mamsas, what you call flesh will come out. Oh, any moment it will fall on you. And you run, exhausted, unable to run, you fell down. Then the tiger jumped over you. Instantly, what happens? There is no tiger, there is no you. You woke up. You woke up. Then, now tell me, once you wake up, what do you say? Tiger is not there. Nor you need it. Once you woke up, the tiger is non-existent. Let it be non-existent because I don't need it. Because the tiger is non-existent because on whom the tiger is supposed to pounce, the one the tiger kills, I myself am not there as a dream person. The whom tiger kills, I am not that person. I am not a person whom tiger kills. Because tiger is appearing, tiger is chasing and trying to catch whom? I am no more that person. So tiger cannot catch me who is a waking person. Waking person, the dream tiger cannot catch. Therefore, dream tiger is non-existent for me. But dream tiger was useful. The dream's chasing was useful, not to kill me. Dream, see, tell me, is the tiger incapable of killing you in dream? Was the tiger incapable of chasing you? Was the tiger incapable of touching you? Was the tiger incapable of frightening you? Was the tiger incapable of producing sweat in you? Incapable of sweating, making you sweat? Was it incapable of making you sweat? No. It was all capable in that sense. It made you to run. It made you to panic. It made you to panic. It made you to run. It made you to sweat. It was all real. But now as you wake up, the very tiger, the very pouncing of tiger awoke you. You woke up. Once you woke up, then the tiger ceases, and its capacity to kill you also ceases. The moment tiger ceases to be tiger, the moment you are being subjected to, that means you are also incapable of being touched by tiger. Tiger cannot touch you because you go to another level. You are a waking person. For you, tiger is incapable of touching you. You are no more a dream person who can be killed. You are no more a dream person. Once you wake up, the tiger can touch only dream person. You who is in the dream, only that person it can kill. But when you wake up, the dream tiger cannot touch you because it doesn't exist. Let it not exist anyway. Similarly here, when you are in dream, the dream is valid. No question arises. Oh, how can the false tiger chase me? How can the false tiger chase me? How can the false tiger hurt me? You won't say that. You didn't say that. Did you say that? Oh, this is a false tiger, dream tiger. How can it touch me? But you are also same. You are also at the same level as much as the dream. As the dream, so you are. As the tiger, so you are. You are as much as your tiger. Tiger is capable of hurting you, touching you, holding you, scratching you, what you call biting you. Tiger is capable of biting, and you are also capable of being bitten, being scratched, being chased, being held, being pounced over. You are also capable. But once you wake up, tiger is incapable of doing all that. But I am also not that. I am also not such a person who is subject to dream's attack. Okay. Both don't exist. This point is Advaitin's answer. They are unable to. They say, if the dream tiger is false, how can it pounce? How can it? Nobody asks that question. Do you have such a doubt? When do you have such a doubt? How can the tiger? When you are wake up or when you are in dream? During your dream or after you woke up? During dream, nobody asks that question. You have no such a doubt at all. Once you wake up, then they say there is no tiger at all. Where is the question of chasing and running and I am afraid? Neither tiger is there nor my fear is there. Neither tiger nor my fear. Both don't exist. So this is the simple thing. See how Advaitin's answer is very, very intelligent. And it is keeping with our anubhava, very logical and very true to your experience, which nobody can deny. Nobody can deny. Therefore, Veda, Aveda, Doshaya, Prameyadigam. Once you understand the truth, once you woke up, also you have no room for your question. When you are in dream, there is no room for that question, no scope for that question. And once you wake up, also no scope for question. Means neither way your question has any scope. Okay? No scope for your question. Neither way. Neither in dream nor after waking up. Both the time, there is no scope for your question. That means your question is, our Shastra is not invalid. Your question is invalid. Our Shastra is not invalid. Our Shastra functions, does its job. Then what is invalid? Your question, your doubt, your objection is invalid. Your question is invalid. Your doubt is invalid. It has no meaning whatsoever. It has no standing at all. In dream, your question has no standing. Once you wake up, your question has no meaning. Neither way your question has any meaning. Therefore, dump it into dustbin. Let us proceed. So, he is quoting one Sureshwaracharya's Vakya in reply. In reply, Swamiji is giving another Shankaracharya's quotation. Nasati, you see, Nahyatma Swarupadigame sati punah pramana prameya vyavaharaha sambhavati pramatrutvam hi atmano nivartayat yantyam pramanam. So therefore Vedanta Shastra is an antyam pramanam, final pramana. Because once it operates, once Shastra pramana, after it operates, then everything becomes invalid. Not only everything, even Shastra becomes invalid. And because your need of the Shastra also goes away. Therefore, nivartayadecha apramani bhavati. As the Shastra removes ignorance. See, Shastra, your objection was, how can false Shastra remove your ignorance? And we say, Shastra is not false. Shastra becomes false only after removing ignorance. You say, how can the false Shastra remove the ignorance? When you need to remove the ignorance, it is not false, it is real. It removes the ignorance. After removing ignorance, it becomes false. After you appease your hunger, there is no food. There is a shortage of food, doesn't matter. You have fulfilled your hunger. You had a full meal, stomach full of meals. Then food has fallen short. Food runs out, doesn't matter. Then people say, oh, food is run out. Doesn't matter, I have fulfilled. My meal is over. Now I am going to wash my hands, I am complete now. Now you run out of the food, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because I don't need it. I am not asking for food. They say, sorry sir, food is exhausted. Sorry sir, we run out of the food. I say, I don't need. Oh, sorry sir, I don't need. No, sorry sir. What do you say? We have run out of the food. Now there is a short, food is short. Now it is exhausted. We are unable to serve you, sir. I don't need it. My hunger is appeased. Now my stomach is full. I don't need it. He says, when food is short, how can you eat? He is putting question wrongly. That means where there is no scope, he is bringing the question. Pramatrutvam hi nivartayati antyam pramanam. So it is a final pramana. It removes your very pramatrutvam, the very subject, very individuality it removes. Kala, that is swapna kala pramana viva prabodhe, just like the dream pramana, dream shastra to the waking person. Dream shastra wakes you up. Who is the dream shastra? Who is the dream guru? Dream tiger is the dream shastra. Dream tiger or dream shastra is the one who wakes you up. After waking up, it becomes invalid. Do you say dream tiger is invalid because it is incapable of waking you up? Can you ask that question? Tiger is incapable of waking you up. No, you can't say, because tiger is real. Once you wake up, then there is incapable, doesn't matter. These answers are okay. Okay, let us proceed. Loke cha vastva digame pravrutti hetutva darshanat pramanasya. This is not only about Shastra, any Shastra for that matter. Even in your Vishishtadvaita, even in your Dvaita, after knowing your Dvaitam, what will you do with the Shastra? See, they say that Shastra teaches Dvaitam. Okay, Shastra taught you, you understood Dvaitam. Then what will you do with the Shastra after you understood it? Shastra becomes invalid. You say, Shastra teaches Vishishtadvaitam. Okay, it teaches Vishishtadvaitam. After teaching Vishishtadvaitam, after you understood, then what will you do with the Shastra? Again, it becomes invalid. Any pramana for that matter. Even the perception also. You need eyes to see the pen. After seeing the pen, what will you do? After seeing the pen, yes, it is pen, I have understood. What will you do? You keep on seeing again? Once you wanted to use your eyes to see the pen and recognize, yes, this is my pen, I got back, you felt happy. Once you saw and recognized the pen, then what will you do with your eyes? You may see something else, but you don't need it again to see the pen. Because once you have seen and understood, this is pen. Once you have seen and understood it, you don't need the pramana again. You may need it for something else. You may need to see it somebody else, but not to see the pen, because once you have seen the pen, you understood it is a pen. Similarly, once you understood Brahman, then the Shastra is invalid, incapable of doing it, because it doesn't exist. It ceases to exist. Let it cease. Okay. Next, 65th point, I think we have been discussing. 66 passage we were discussing for more number of classes, I think 6 or 7 classes, or even more, I don't remember, I have to see. Now we'll proceed to the next point, 67th point. Okay, time is up. It is 12:30, 12:27, 3 minutes. At least I shall repeat the question. I'll repeat the argument and answer we will give you in the next class. Yattuchyate chinmatram vastu nastyeva samvidanubhava shabdanam atmagunavachakatvat jnaturapyatmano nabhikaritvam jnanagunasya nityatvaditi. This is a good question. See, there is no pure consciousness. This is the question of all non-Advaitins, non-Advaitin acharyas. There is no such thing called pure consciousness. Consciousness is always qualified. It is always with an attribute. Means it is always in a particular quality. In some quality alone you can see means consciousness is good or bad or more or less. Some qualification alone you see. Without any qualification, bare consciousness as consciousness, where you cannot describe consciousness as this and that and high and low and many, high and low and small and big, and no quality can be described. Consciousness is pure consciousness alone, just consciousness. You can't say that. That's what their objection is. They say there is no chinmatram vastu. There is no such an experience. Nobody has. Pure consciousness, such a thing doesn't exist at all. Consciousness and thorough consciousness. Through and through consciousness only. Nothing but consciousness. That's all. You can't, qualitatively qualify the consciousness. Adjective means qualifying. No qualifying. Qualified consciousness. Qualified means what? Qualified means you can say something, some description, some quality, you can talk about it. It possesses, it is in possession of some quality. It is like this, like this, like this, you have to say that. Something is unimaginable. But consciousness is just consciousness. Purvapakshi says, Chinmatram can never be pure. It has to be in a given way. It has to be in some place, some condition, some situation, some condition, some relation. What he means to say is, consciousness is always in one condition, one situation, in one relation. Always in some relation, always in some condition, always in one particular situation. Always it can be described as something, something, something. There is no pure chinmatram vastu nasti. Chinmatram vastu nasti iti Purvapakshis abhipraya. Purvapakshi says there is no such thing called chinmatram. A bare chinmatram doesn't exist, because samvid anubhava jnanadi shabdanam atma gunavachakatvat. So the Sanskrit words samvit, anubhava, jnana. See, these are the 3 words. Samvit, anubhava, jnana. So this samvit, anubhava, jnana, all these words which mean chaitanyam, consciousness, all these words refer to Atma's quality. They refer to Atma quality, not Atma Swarupam. Jnanam is Atma's quality. Who says? Purvapakshi says. Okay? Purvapakshi says, Purvapakshi means non-Advaitin, Advaitetaras. Non-Advaitins say, Chaitanyam is a quality of Atma. Therefore, we can say Atma is in which quality? This so and so quality. Jnaturapyatmano na vikaritvam. And Jnata Atma, Atma who is in possession of quality, Atma who is possessing Chaitanyam is Nirvikara. Second point is Nirvikara means is changeless, is just in the same nature all the time. He's changeless. Okay, Navika, Jnaturapyatmano Navikaritvam Jnana Gunasya Nityatvat. These are the 2 points. This we shall answer in the next class. One point is Atma is never pure consciousness. Consciousness is always a quality possessed by Atma. Okay? Consciousness is always a quality of Atma. It is not the nature of Atma. It is the quality of Atma. Okay? This one point we have to answer. Second, in this question there are 2 points. Second point. Another point is, if the consciousness is the quality, Atma keeps undergoing change. Because the quality fluctuates. When the quality fluctuates, then Atma undergoes change. Purvapakshi says, Atma is Nirvikara. Atma is changeless because the quality of consciousness is also changeless, he says. This is very strange. But anyway, that's what he holds it. How it is wrong, we shall tell in the next class. He says, Atma as a guna, Chaitanyam as a guna of Atma, Chaitanyam as a guna of Atma is Nityam, he says. Consciousness, which is the quality of Atman, is eternal. Since the quality is eternal, Atma remains changeless. These 2 arguments are wrong. He has misunderstood. How it is wrong, we'll tell in the next class. Tad jnatritvasya adhyasa purvakatva varnanenaiva parihurta prayam. We have already answered it, but we answered in a different context, in a different way. Now, since you are putting the question again, specific to your question, in a specific way we have to answer. Anyway, this question you think over. Next class, I think tomorrow, no, day after tomorrow is the next class. We shall answer this. Okay? Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.